Welcome back, guys. It's Con with the Sun Pirates TCG, bringing another meme slash fun deck to show off for today. So this time we're playing Green Carrot. So why Carrot today? Well, at my locals, I actually have quite an infestation of Belo Betty players, funny enough. And I play Gum Gum Giant decks pretty often, so I was tired of losing to Belo Betty. And I was kind of thinking through what fun decks we could play. And honestly, this one might not be that bad as like a very anti-aggro strategy this format. So the idea with Carrot is that obviously you have that leader ability to rest any 5-drop, which means against aggro decks like Belo Betty and Zoro, you get to super bully their boards. And then we also dedicate ourselves to the 5-drop Carrot because just like in Bonnie, this is a very, very strong piece right now, this format, against even green-purple Luffy and black-purple Luffy, since it can target a 7 cost to stun, which includes Sanji Pudding even when buffed by a stage, or Beer Luffy when buffed by leader, right? So aside from that, we're playing a bunch of minxes to enable the leader ability, of course. We have 4 copies of the new 2K Carrot from EB02. This one's really strong. On play, if you have 3 or more Dawn, you look at top 7 for your stage, so. And then if you have one, or if you already have one in hand, you can just play it from your hand for free. Not only that, but when you do have it on board, it's just an additional minx to enable your leader ability. Of course, we have 4 of the 1-drop Wanda, just our generic minx searcher. A couple copies of this promo Carrot is just a blocker, but also you can play it out early, especially going second, and also enables your leader ability. Some additional 2Ks is Tashigi because, you know, it's green protection. We want it against things like blue-purple Luffy. Then 4 copies of Pedro. This one's actually pretty underrated for this archetype. Again, Bonnie wouldn't really want this card, but in Carrot, this is actually like a Lucky Roo, if you remember from Shanks. On KO, you can KO one of your opponent's rested 6 cost or lower rested characters. Like you block with it, you blow up the guy that attacked, things like that. A couple more 2Ks in this Carrot from OP-02. It's just a generic minx, but it's also a 5-drop for the Rosinante that we're playing. And then 3 copies of Inurashi. It's kind of like a worse version of the 5-drop Carrot, but it has some other applications because on play, you get to stun 2 guys, assuming that they are 5 cost or less, as opposed to 7 cost. So this guy's honestly not that bad either. And then 4 of the Carrot, like I said before, 2 of the Neko Mamushi. I feel like it might be good against blue-purple Luffy, just being an additional piece of pressure. 2 copies of the 5-drop Smoker, just another generically good 5-drop that we can play in green. 3 copies of Hody Jones. Again, we're a green deck. It has come to my attention that I've pretty much been only playing green decks the past few weeks of videos, so yeah, we're in the Gum Gum Giant meta. This guy's amazing, so not much explanation there. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 2 copies of Rosinante, because incidentally, we're playing a lot of 5-drops here. So off of this guy, we can just play one of our several like reasonable 5-drops, Carrot to stun another thing, Neko to rush out of nowhere, Smoker to untap a Dawn. And then the big thing that kind of gravitated me towards this archetype was Law Beppo. So this was a really cool boss monster that came out of the Bonnie starter deck that a lot of people were freaking out about, but honestly it didn't seem like it had much of a home even in Bonnie lists. But this is also a minx, funny enough, because it's Beppo, right? So you can search it off of your Wanda, and of course it's a minx that enables your leader ability. So bizarrely, it actually slots in pretty well in this archetype for what we're trying to do. So 4 of this to try it out. Then 3 copies of whoever wins this war becomes justice. We're playing a lot of bricks here, so we need multiple copies of the 0 cost to kind of smoothen out the counter. 3 copies of Electrical Luna, another really good anti-aggro tool. This card was excellent in Green-Purple Luffy for the mirror match, so I imagine it'd be pretty good against Green-Purple Luffy in this deck too. And then, like I said before, 4 copies of the stage. This one is really strong. It lets us play with an extra Dawn every turn, no questions asked. And also restanding our minx, like restanding our Carrots so they can't get bullied in combat. Our Pedro so we can swing with it, and then restand it to have the blocker available. It's just really, really flexible. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the list, guys. Is it anywhere near optimized? Probably not. Again, this was one of my first cracks at it. But before we get into the gameplay, remember to subscribe and let me know in the comments what decks we should be trying next. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, and on to Belo Betty. This is the matchup that I really want to try out. So, going first, we have the Wanda. Let's get the Carrots. Let's see if we can find the Zo next turn. So just pass, and let's see if our opponent has the Immortal. Going second, God Curve with Double Searcher. Ooh, they found a Kuma though, so that does kind of suck. They blow up our Wanda. We do have another mix in response though, since we have the carrots. And we missed on the stage, man. That sucks. Alright, very unfortunate. We'll still get to rest Akuma and then just run it over though. So we'll just pass. Honestly, this is such a huge addition to the deck, being an additional 1-drop Minx that can enable your leader ability. Alright, now they go Eva. Let's see if they pitch to play another dude. Okay, so it looks like they're going for it. They pitch a Karasu to buff their Ivankov. And they play a Karasu, okay. Alright, well, that Karasu is never going to see the light of day. 5 into 4 though. I think I want to stay healthy, so we'll give it 2k while we can. Then they pass. Let's rest their Karasu. They only have 3 in hand. We'll go 6 at the Karasu. And then I'll just plan to play one of the Pedros with my Fordon. They counter with Zeus, that's fine. Then we'll just deploy Pedro as a blocker and pass. Okay, so they played Eva. They buffed their team. So are they going to play the last card out of their hand? Because if so, then we can definitely just dismantle their board from there. Okay, 8 into 4. I'll just take this. Not much reason not to. Uh, 7 into 4. I'll just take again. No big deal. You know what? I could just take all 3. It's really not the end of the world for us. Ooh, that's a pretty good draw. So we drew Zoe out of life too. So here's what I can do. I can do 5 at the Karasu, see if they counter or not. They let it go, okay. Let's go 5 at the Eva. See if we take that one also. And we do, okay. Nice. So we actually have a really cool play here. We can rest the Ivankov, and then I can play Zoe, use the ability to restand up to 5 down again, and then we play the carrots, stun the Ivankov, and then end phase we restand the Pedro. And our opponent basically has nothing, and we have a board with quite a bit in hand. Okay, so they go Lindbergh. And they go 9 at lead. Again, I see not much reason to not take, to be honest with you guys. We'll just drown them in card advantage from here. And I have plenty of blockers to work with as well. So here we can just keep resting. And then we can go... I guess 5 elite to start, see if they hit a trigger body. They do not. We can go... can go another 5 at lead. And they whiff on another trigger body. Okay. Funny enough, I can go Neko Mamushi because it has Rush, since they have exactly 7 rested cards between their Dawn, their leader, and their 2 characters. And then we can restand one with Zoe. I can go 6 at the Lindbergh. And then they counter, that was actually the bait, because then I can just go 7 at the Ivankov and then stun the Lindbergh. And then we can just play another Pedro. And then pass, restand the other Pedro. And then we pretty much got it on lock here. Our opponent should not be able to get through this, and then next turn, with the stuff we have on board, we should be able to go for lethal. Yeah, our opponent's saying GG in the chat, and yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote from there. Okay, now we're going second versus Zoro. And honestly, our opening hand's pretty good here too. We'll start off with a Wanda. Let's see what we got. Let's get the carrot. And then we'll pass. Because then the carrot can look 7 deeper for the stage. And we didn't see any stage in the top 5 there, so we're actually not super unlikely to see it in our next turn. They start off with a 7k at face. We just take that for sure. Then they pass. Yeah, let's play the carrot. Ooh, and we miss on the Zoe, no. Oh, that's okay. We'll start with a 5 at lead. So, if they're holding up 1-4 shut up, we can still rest with our carrot and then run into it with our Wanda. So let's see what they got. Okay, and they brought out Horn Point Chopper plus Hiking Bear. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll rest a Hiking Bear since that's the easier thing to run over. And then we'll go 5 into 3. Okay. Okay, so at least we got a body off the board. Okay, and they respect our Wanda. It's some animal on animal violence. We let it go, of course. Then 6 at our face. I'll go ahead and give it 2k at this point. Ooh, okay, and then they play that Zoro. Okay. Honestly, we have a pretty good response here. I can go 6 into Horn Point Chopper. Yeah, it's definitely too steep to counter out of that one. And then, since we have a Minx on board, we can still rest their 4-drop Zoro, and then I can play Carrot to stun it, so now I don't even have to worry about the whole on KO part of it or anything. We'll just keep stunning it forever, until they bring out something better. Ooh, and unblockable Luffy? Ooh, this that one's a little bit old school. They go 7 at us, which is still pretty effective though. We take that. Another Carrot. That's fine. And then another 7. Okay, since I'm 2 turns away from bringing out Law Beppo, I think I'm okay to keep taking here. Go down to low health. Ooh, and we have the Zo. That's pretty good for us too. Ooh, okay. Actually, we have some options here. We definitely have some options here. Okay, here's a little tactic here to kind of bait cards out of them. We can go Carrot at the Luffy and stun the Zoro. See if they protect it. Ooh, nice, and they do. Okay, so here's the trick. We go Inuarashi to stun both. And then we will play Zo, restand a Dawn. And then we'll go at face now. And then we will just pass, restanding our Carrot. And then next turn I can bring down Law Beppo, and that's actually a pretty big game for us. Ooh, Dragon? Okay. At least I can stun that, so definitely not too bad for us. With that, I will give 2k, 1k like this, and then we'll just take the hit from the Dragon. Yeah, so we'll take that. Okay. Let's do a similar trick again. We can go Carrot at the Luffy, stun the Zoro, so we're just gonna keep baiting cards out of our opponent. Alright, they counter. We'll do another 6 into the Luffy. Ooh, and they counter again. Okay, so now we can go Law Beppo, stun the Dragon, and then our leader's plus 2k, which is really huge for us. We then get to gain a Dawn, and then I'll just go ahead and let's continue swinging 8 into the Luffy, see if they protect it or not. Okay, I figured they would play Shut Up. But the funny thing is that a 5k isn't the biggest deal when we're 7k base now. And 2 of their dudes are frozen, so we'll just pass, restand the Carrot. So they're going after our board because they're scared of dying. I think I'll just let this go. We can actually play for board too, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay, they bring out the squad. We just give a 1k there. Then just 8k at us. We will just give it 2k. So it looks like they're trying to hold up another one for Shut Up and Come With Us. In that case, let's start by trying to take out the Dragon since we can't really kill our opponent anymore. I guess we technically could, but I'm not going to try to go for it. There's no need to. Assuming this is one for Shut Up, this should be enough, so we'll go 11 into 9. Either rip their hand or, you know, they play Shut Up, which is fine. Okay, they let it go. We can go like 5 at lead. 6 at lead, stunning the Zoro, I guess. Everything's going to get stunned regardless, so it doesn't super matter here. Okay, so they did not play Shut Up, which is fine for us since they will no longer have an opportunity to play it. So we can go Electrical Luna, stun your whole board. Zo restands a Dawn, and then that leaves us 8, so we get to play out Double Pedro. And then pass, restanding our Carrot, and good luck, opponent. I think that should lock things up from here. They go 6 at us. I'll just counter for 2, I guess. We'll just leave our board available to go for lethal. Okay, they play a chopper. They play another chopper, okay. And a third chopper. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Well, it's a good thing we can rest one of them. So let's... And they're tapped out, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll rest one. And then I'll start with a 7 at lead. I guess stunning one of the choppers. I don't think it super matters again. Okay, they block. The funny thing is that I can do another 7 at lead. And then we can just keep doing a bunch of 7s with the Pedros. Because if they guard with 2 cards here, I can also don up the carrot. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so we can go swing 5 with the Pedro. Oh, they mull pistol. They shrink our Pedro, but again, it doesn't matter because we can go swing 11 with our Law Beppo, force us to block, and then we'll just put our Dawn on our carrot and attack for lethal like that. And yeah, there we go. GG. Alright, and we're going second against Green Purple Luffy. Honestly, this hand's not bad at all, so we'll keep this. Okay, so they start off with a search for the 2k Sanji. For us, let's start with our 1-drop Wanda search. I guess Carrot's a little bit better as a 2k, so we'll get that. And then for our opponent, they play another searcher with the green Nami. And they find the Going Merry. Okay, that's a little bit annoying for us. Thankfully, we did draw the 5-drop carrot, so we can still stun Sanji Pudding when we need to. For the 6k swing, I think I'll just take this. Ooh, nice, we find Zoe. And another Zoe, okay. Alright, here's an idea. Let's still play the carrot anyway. The reason why I want to do this is to effectively play Zoe for 1 cost. That way I can have it on board while also establishing the Pedro. And then we can use carrot to rest their Nami and try to get that out of here. And then we go 5 at lead. So I did lose a 2k out of my hand to do this, but I did gain a little bit of tempo with having both Zoe and Pedro out on the same turn. Okay, so they went Sanji Pudding, then they did the usual stuff by cost buffing it, and they play a Nami after the fact. And that gets them new Sohachi, okay. They go 8 at us. Definitely not gonna block that one, we'll just take it. Who cares, not bad though. Okay, let's rest the Nami, we'll just get it out of here for now. And then I don't have a way of resting the Sanji Pudding because they buff the cost, so let's still go carrot, rest nothing, restand a Dawn, and then I guess we'll just go 7 at lead. And they give us a Sanji 2k, alright. And then I guess we'll restand the Wanda. Ooh, okay, and they establish the Gear 2nd Luffy. Interesting. But they still cost buff the Spud. So, funny enough, both bodies are still susceptible to being stunned by our carrot. Here, I think I just take again. I think I'll still conserve the Pedro for later down the line. Oh, and they just pass. Okay. Ooh, Hody's not bad here, actually. We can go Hody, rest both of their dudes, and then stun with the carrot. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's do that. That's a pretty good punish. We can go Hody, rest both bodies, then restand a Dawn. I'm not really worried about dying here since I have so much hand and we have the Pedro blocker. And then we can go something like 9 into the Spud, I suppose. And they give 2k 1k for it? Okay. I probably should have went on the Luffy, but that's fine. I'm going to stun it anyway. And then we can go... Let's go at face now. Let's go 6 at lead, stunning the Gear 2nd Luffy. Because next turn they only have 7 down to work with. I think I should be fine. So we'll go at face again. And they give it 2k, nice. And then we will pass restanding our carrot. And a funny thing too is I have back-to-back Electrical Lunas to make sure this Luffy stays down. Unless they want to buff it with Going Merry. That's the option that they have. Okay, so they do use the Going Merry to cost buff their Luffy. Ooh, they play their own Hody Jones. That's very interesting. They only get one Dawn back though because it locks them out of their leader ability. And they go after our Pedro. Opponent. I don't know if they know what Pedro does. We lock them out of their Gum Gum Giant now. They go 5 at face, give them a 1k. Yeah, and then that's all she wrote. Okay, so we were beating up a lot of aggro decks, so let's see if we can win from the other side of the spectrum. We're up against blue-purple going first. So we'll just pass, we have nothing to do right now. Tashiki's a pretty good thing to open with, though, against her removal. Okay, so they pass. I think I do want the Tashiki on board. They go 6 at her face. We don't have a 2k, so we definitely just take there. And Zoro Juro. Okay. We can go Pedro, I suppose. And then we have a Minx, so we can rest the Juro and swing 6 into it. This potentially cuts them off from ramping. Yeah, nice, nice. So they only have 6 Dawn to work with. Ooh, Bon Clay. Okay. But they swing for 7, so that means they don't have to double ramp. Okay. Okay, that's awesome for us. We'll take the 7k though. Let's go ahead and rest their Bon Clay, and then we can go. Let's go 6 at lead. Let's see what happens. Okay, they counter. Oh, okay, interesting. They're playing the Rocinante or the Don Quixote build. We'll go another 6 at lead. We'll just try to be a little bit aggressive here. And thankfully they counter first, so they could not ramp with the Bagua. And then we get to play Carrot and stun their Bon Clay, and we'll pass. Ooh, that's a pretty good draw though. They get the Doflamingo into Rocinante. And they swing 7 at our guy. Question is, do I want to protect it? I think so. It's just, what do I want to use? I think we'll 0 cost out of it. Okay. And then we can go Carrot, rest their Rocinante. I think I want to spin the wheel on Carrot to be able to... Ugh, and we miss. Okay. Gosh, that sucks. We can still go Wanda. Yeah, I only grabbed some Minxes, unfortunately, so I think we'll just get another Pedro. And then what I can do here is play Carrot, stun their Rocinante, swing with the other Carrot, stun their Bon Clay. Counter for 1, okay. We'll swing another 6 at our opponent. They counter again, and then we'll get in there with a Pedro. Then we'll just pass. We don't have the counter to protect from the Dofi, so we have to let it go. And then same here with the Pedro. I could attempt to keep it alive, but I don't think it's worth. And then I think I do want to KO something instead of resting Dons. We'll KO the Rocinante. That way they can't restand 2 Dawn at the end of their turn. Ooh, Gravity Blade. So it only takes our Tashigi, thankfully. So it's good for us. And we're actually not in that bad of a position right now. Let's just get the big guy out. Let's play La Beppo, stun this, and then we pump up our leader. We can go 6 at lead. We'll just keep freezing the Bon Clay. So they counter. We go 7 again. Nice, and they go to 1. Okay. I think I can just leave the 1 active. I don't have to answer the Bon Clay right away. They find Sanji off of their leader ability. They go 6 at our Carrot. I definitely want to counter this one. We'll give the Inuarashi, I suppose. They go Sanji Big Mom, alright. Pitching the other Big Mom. And they stuff her Carrot into life. Alright, alright. Ooh, another La Beppo. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll play the other La Beppo, stun the Sanji, I suppose. Then we can go 7 at lead. They give the 2k. We'll push 1 into the bonk lane now, and then 11 at face. They take, alright. And then we will just pass. Okay. So our opponent's at 1 health. They find Zoro from their leader ability. Okay, so they respect our 1 drop. We'll just let it go. Ooh, and they go big swing at our Law Beppo. Unfortunately, we have to let it go. Yikes. Definitely did not have enough counter for that one. And then 9 into 7, we take that. Oh, now the Zosh shows up. Alright. Alright, game. So I'm still not dead here, funny enough. I don't think, with the double blocker. Let's start with an 11 at life. Let's just see what happens here first. Ooh, okay, so they fire off the giant to be safe. And then they still need another 2k to get out of it. Ooh, 2 1ks, okay. Okay. Oh man. I have AK with leader plus Hody. I don't think that's enough though with the 3 cards that they have in hand. I think it's still too risky to go for it. I'll play Zo. We will restand at Dawn. They played both of their gravity blades already, so. And one of their Usohachis. Okay. Let's see if I can bait them out with a 7k swing. Okay, they counter with Gear Second. And then we'll play Pedro plus Carrot. And then go to end phase, restand our Law Beppo. And hope we don't die here. It would have to be something kind of insane like double Usohachi or something. Oh, well, you know, speak of the devil, right? They searched one of them. So, do they have a second one or some other answer for our blockers here? Yikes. Gothred. Oh, ooh, okay, they messed up though. We get to rest at Dawn because they Gothredded the Pedro. They should have Usohachi'd it. Ooh, and they don't go for it. I guess they decide not to go for it anyway. There's not much reason not to take, right? We can just take. Because they only have 2 Dawn available, so I know they cannot Usohachi here. We take. And I guess we block. We take again. Okay, opponent. Alright, we have Hody Jones, so rest your 2 Dawn. Zo restand a Dawn. And then we have let's see. Let's go 8 at lead. Okay, 2 2Ks. They're tapped out, so I know an 8 connects here. And then 12k for lethal. That should do it. Yep. Alright, GG. I can't believe I got there. Alright, and moving into the wrap-up. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. It definitely did what I was hoping it would do against the aggro decks. We definitely got to bully Belo Betty boards and Zoro boards with our leader ability and Carrot. The Law Beppo, honestly, was pretty impressive. It's just like a big dumb boss monster for this archetype that you can search. The fact that it's a Minx also lets you still use your leader ability, so honestly, cannot complain. Now, is this better than playing other green decks like Bonnie or Smoker? I still don't think so. Green Purple Luffy can still be kind of hard because of the stage buffing their Sanji Pudding cost, so you can't immediately rest it with your leader ability, even though you can still stun it with 5-drop Carrot, like I said before. And Blue Purple Luffy, I'm still very skeptical of that matchup. I would definitely take that game we featured with a grain of salt. I think we got pretty lucky there. But otherwise, yeah, this deck was pretty fun. If you haven't owned the cards, I would definitely recommend trying this out at your locals. Maybe you can get some heads turning your way. So, at any rate, thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.